posted a video about a week ago, and across my social media accounts and between the people that have shared it, it got about 10 million views. And with 10 million views, there is not a race, ethnic background, or gender that post did not reach. The most kickback and the resistance came from black men, oftentimes between the ages of 30, 35 and up. Comment after comment, why go to therapy and you can do it yourself? Do I believe that there is a place of mental and emotional strength that a person can be self-aware enough to realize their issues and also have the understanding or knowledge of how to gain the tools so that they can become better? Absolutely. But we know that that is rare, and our jail systems are filled up with black men. Tells you that more times than not, it is not a place where a person, especially a black man, can self-regulate and go get the tools for himself so he isn't making those decisions. There are a lot of black women who go to therapy, and the awesome thing about that is you can see black women flourishing at a rate that black men are not. That's just the reality of it. Check the statistics. Them ain't my numbers, them are statistics numbers. When you go to therapy, it gives you emotional health and it gives you mental health. And if you are emotionally healthy and you are mentally healthy, then you are making better business decisions. You are making better financial decisions. You are making better personal decisions. You are making better spiritual decisions. Why? Because you are emotionally and mentally healthy. I'm a believer in God. And do I believe you should go to God? Absolutely. But there are black men that are dying that don't believe in God. And if they had the opportunity to go to a Christian therapist to be given Christian principles according to a therapeutic perspective that can help them apply it to their lives strategically in personal ways, what is the issue with that? Every person does not have the spiritual maturity level to go to the Bible, break it down, and figure out how it applies to their life. Every person does not have access to Bible studies. Every person is not comfortable in walking in churches. And so at the end of the day, the goal is to have as many resources as possible. And we can agree that oftentimes we don't have those resources for men, let alone for black men. So instead of judging, instead of talking trash, instead of dismissing because it may not work for you, send it to somebody or give it to somebody who it may work for. I'm tired of all my brothers dying because they lack emotional and mental health. I'm tired of jails being filled up with my brothers because they don't know how to not make an impulsive decision that can ruin their life because they killed somebody, they shot somebody, or they harmed somebody in some type of way. When you go to the emergency room, you trust in the education of a doctor. When you get in trouble, you get a ticket, or you do something that's looking at jail time, you trust the education of a lawyer. You trust the education of every other professional person except for the education of a therapist because they deal with mental and emotional health. I think that's a big problem. And I think we need to figure it out. I think we need to figure out how to come together and support one another instead of coming against people that are trying to put out healthy information that could potentially be beneficial to your brother or your sister. And if you don't always have to agree with it. And even in this, if you don't agree with this message and you don't agree with therapy being the best decision, well, what do you agree with? And with what you agree with, what are you doing to be proactive in putting it out there to create places for your brothers to access it so that way they can become more mentally and emotionally healthy? What are you doing?